college campuses where there's a big congregate of people drinking and they're not sure where the level of consent is.
Okay. So would it be fair to characterize rape culture as something, certainly as it's been, I guess, sort of described in academic circles, the idea, a societal or a patriarchal society where rape is either encouraged or tolerated?
Like what? It doesn't have to be a male that rapes
Well, first of all, yeah, I don't think it's ever encouraged or tolerated. So that's definitely not the case for the most part.
a female. Like it
Sure.
can be either way, but
I didn't say that.
okay, well, what's your question?
Well, that's the idea of rape culture, the idea that rape is, and you sort of echoed that. I want to make sure we both agree to start with, that it's a society or a culture at large where rape is either promoted, encouraged, or tolerated.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't agree.
Can you tell me why?
Statistically, it doesn't bear out. We charge rapists, we put them in jail.
I know plenty of people I've reported.
Them in jail. Rape is a very rare crime, and I don't believe that we live in a culture that supports or condones rape or tolerates it.
But what about the fact that so many rapists don't go to jail? I know plenty of people, I've reported my rapist, he didn't go to jail. Many of my friends have reported their rapists, they didn't go to jail. Like, I actually literally don't know of people my age, anybody who's gone to jail, who has been apprehended. There are boys on this campus. I've been sexually assaulted by a boy on this campus who walks around and goes to class every single day. So how is that
really clear? First off,
apprehension?
well, there's anecdotal, right, and then there's the empirical data.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get away from me speaking for all men or people who are sort of right-leaning, and you speaking for all women or sort of advocates of a more progressive worldview. You might need to adjust your phone. I think someone's calling and it slipped down there. I want to make sure you get a good shot.
Thank you.
You went from rape, it's interesting to me, to sexual assault.
Yes.
First off, I think, again, it's very important that we define the terms. There's a delineation between the two.
Uh-huh.
Would we agree?
Yeah, but would you say that like sexual assault isn't like a part of rape?
No, sexual assault is a part of rape, but someone can commit some kind of sexual assault or sexual harassment and it not be rape. So I'm probably pretty sure you don't want to get into your personal experience on camera. If you do, we can. But again, it goes back to the question, this idea that we support or we tolerate or we encourage rape, or that it's occurring in numbers that are out of the ordinary. Proportionally to other crimes, rapists are convicted at about the same rate as armed robbers, for example. Do we have an armed robbery culture? Rape is a horrible, terrible, heinous crime. For you to think that
and I'm not saying that like rape culture, like I'm honestly not talking about empirical data at all, and I don't think we should look at it as empirical data because first of all, like I don't know if you know how like uniform crime reports work, but that's like certain things that police don't report. So sometimes those numbers are skewed, first of all, and
Sorry, what do you mean uniform crimes?
do you know like uniform crime reports and how that works?
You mean
It's
several
like,
crimes going into one report?
No, it's like where the police report to the FBI specific crimes that occur, but they are like sometimes they don't report everything, and that's how like that's the
don't report
problem.
everything?
No, sometimes they just don't because sometimes it looks better on their.
All right. So what do you think about this one so far? Because I don't want to go on too long on it without talking.
Well, based off the definition we're going off, which is a culture that encourages rape at large, I just outright disagree with that. I don't know. I'm not a rapist. I don't know any rapists. I don't know anyone who encourages rape. I mean, I think there is something to be said for the fact that there's something that sucks about rape is that it's a very hard crime to prove someone's committed if they have committed it. So like this woman saying like, I do think a lot of rape happens. I do think a lot of sexual assault happens. I don't think it's uncommon. Even if it being charged is uncommon, I don't think it actually is uncommon. But at the same time, because it's so hard to prove, and you do need to be able to prove the crime if you're going to prosecute someone, because that's only fair to the person being potentially prosecuted, then because it's so hard to prove, it does allow it to happen a lot. I know so many, like, I don't know every woman's experiences with potential rape, but out of the women I know who I'm close with, so many have like they have nothing to gain from telling me they're raped. I don't know how to put this, but I'm not gonna console them. I'll say it sucks, but like the best they're gonna get out of me is joking about it, and they know that, so they have nothing to fucking like. They have no reason to tell me when it's not true. And like I know a lot of fucking women who've been raped, and I don't know a lot of women whose rapist is actually in jail, even if it's been reported. So it is common, but I don't think there's a culture around it. Because this is like, well, it's one of the few crimes in jail. If you get like sent in for rape, they have to separate you, because if they don't, then you get fucking killed. Because our society looks down so much on even just harming women and children, that if you do that, you're seen as scum of the earth inside prisons. And those prisons could have some of the worst people in there, but if you hurt a woman or child, especially sexually, you're the worst in there to them.
Yeah, this is one of those, like you said, it's hard to prove it, but then at the same time, like you said, when women come out and they say that they got raped by someone or sexually assaulted, it's like you, even though there's a difference, like you said, like you really should do neither. You should, but like I don't know if you know, but recently, like you know who Chris D'Elia is.
Nope.
I'm surprised you don't know because it's like he's one of these like Joe Rogan, like Tom Segura type comedians. Because you're into Tom Segura, what who else? And then Mark Norman. So Chris D'Elia, do you know who Brian Callen is?
Nope.
We'll have to do a whole thing on like Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia. How I kind of found out about is that Red Bar video I showed you that you didn't like, but basically he goes hard on these people because they both got accused of rape by like 50 women, or like at least Chris D'Elia was like 40 or 50 young girls. Brian Callen, I think, may have been less. But the thing is if a certain amount of women are coming after you saying that you raped them or you sexually coerced them or sexually assaulted or you groomed them, there's probably something there, right? I mean, it's like 50 people aren't just going against your normal
Depends how
guy.
famous you are.
Well, no, but that's the whole thing is there's tons of famous people who just have never gotten any type of.
Yeah, but once it start one like I do there has been instances where like a famous person has had like a false case against them, and then multiple people start pulling out false cases against them. It's kind of like it becomes a trend for the specific person to just get these false cases. But yeah, there is sometimes something to be said for like if there is like a lot relative to how like their size, maybe there's something to it. I I really don't like making assumptions about whether someone's doing it. And I leave that to the court. If the court hasn't said it's true, I just go with it's not true, unless someone I don't believe would lie to me said it to me. And they still could be lying, but I value my relationship more than finding the truth out in that case.
Yeah, I understand. It just seems like if I was going to go after someone, if I was a woman and I was going to go after someone, I'd probably go after someone who's like more famous than like Brian Callen or Chris D'Elia, who you don't even know. They're comedians who are like friends with Joe Rogan. And either way, I mean, I listened or I watched a whole video on Chris D'Elia that pretty much, I mean, in my mind, he's done some bad stuff. But like you said, maybe he's wrong. But the whole thing is leaving it to the court is like even the court could get it wrong. I mean, look at
Yeah, but
well,
like
OJ's out, and also what's his name? Fucking Bill Cosby got out. Obviously
yeah.
that was a mistake, and they both should be in. But it's like you never know if the court's gonna get it right. But yeah, I mean, overall, I agree with you.
You don't know if the
I don't
court's
think
gonna
we
get it
live in
right,
a
but you don't know
yeah,
if you're gonna get it right either.
true. But I don't think we necessarily live in a rape culture.
I
However,
agree.
so I mean, I guess we kind of agree with him here, except for the fact when I first saw it, I was thinking groups of like frats or whatever. You know what I mean? Like frat
Yeah.
boys who are just fucking, even though they're like just going after women and their whole goal in life is to try and get laid. I think that exists, and I think that there is some sweeping under the rug, and I think that a lot of women like her have will say I've been sexually assaulted, maybe raped, and nobody really does anything about it. I think you're probably better off being on the cautionary side. However, not necessarily being quick to judge, I guess, like you're saying. So we see both sides. We agreed with them there.